Derek's building a fire. We're testing different setting on our voice memo, on our voice recorder. I'm going to walk away for a second because I want my coffee mug. It is a Sunday. And we didn't go to a coffee place this morning. Oh God, that's loud. Filling the kettle. Let's start some fresh coffee. Okay. Fire's about to happen. The flue is closed. Okay. So, Derek, what's the day? What's the day looking like?
The day. Mm-hmm. Is this me?
That's you. That's your mom.
I think,
We saddle up to the wood stove.
I think today we're gonna drink some coffee this morning. I'm starting, and I know at some point we've got some friends coming nearby to pick up a Christmas tree.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see them. I think one of them hasn't seen the house, like the inside of the house, really.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So we can show them the new loft too. That's this afternoon. We had talked about going to the art museum just to kind of get out, even if it's raining, but I'm pretty pumped about doing side-by-side Ableton time and getting a few episodes uploaded on the pod, because we've made some good noise reduction progress.
Yeah.
Some good. Ready for that.
Speaking of noise, we've got some hot water.
Yeah, in the background.
Boiling in the background.
That's the tea kettle.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy to hear that you just want to, like, stay inside and work on something. That comes, like, very natural to me, I feel like.
It's true.
That's, like, you know, sometimes, some days I feel like I have to force myself to, like, think of something to do out in the world, rather than just, like, alright, I'm gonna get on my laptop and start making a song for, you know, some project that I'm not even, like, thinking about yet. It's just like it's just, I like doing it, you know?
You have a real internal drive to just be tinkering on projects.
Yeah, like, it's not even, like, work, usually. Like, I just want to do it, so it's like, you know.
Yeah, I'm the one kind of driving us outside often, because I notice a real difference in my mood. Mm-hmm. If the first thing I do, like, I get dressed, brush my teeth, brush my hair, and head straight to a coffee shop to do morning pages. And I used to think it was the morning pages. They're obviously huge, but oh, thanks for reminding me to turn it towards me, the mic. But I think it's actually that the first thing is being out in the world. I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I think being out in the world first thing, like, it does something for my brain and my mood. Like, it's almost like my microbiome needs to, like, reset with the world. That's what it feels like. And that way my mood can, like, start fresh. So it's very rare that I enjoy, like, staying in my robe
Yeah.
in the morning and just, like, kind of putzing around the house. I love doing that after. It feels, like, so delicious to come back from the world and be like, we're staying indoors, cozy all day now. Because it's, like, I already said hi to everyone, whoever this everyone is.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, like, agree with this way of living. Something I think you can get trapped in, or something I think I get trapped in is, like, just creating without something, like, bigger in mind. And,
That's interesting. Will you hold our duos?
yeah.
I'm going to get more coffee.
Without, creating without something bigger in mind. And, like, if you just start doing this for a really long time and you're just inside making stuff and, you know, you don't have really any idea of, like, where you're going with it or how you might share it, I think eventually it's gonna be, like, you're gonna get sad. So, like, I think it's good to check in with the world at least a little, ideally, like, quite a lot. And I think, like, something I have every intention of, like, eventually sharing these, like, paintings and, like, sharing this music and doing all of this. So, that is, like, a big motivator for me to, like, want to work on, like, reggaeton with you is there's a day where we'll get to, like, share the reggaeton.
I wonder if everything's a spectrum. I talk about spectrums a lot, but I wonder if you're more on the creation bias side of a spectrum, and I'm a little bit more on the sharing side of the spectrum, where I have a hard time making a thing if I don't know that soon it'll be shared, unless it's a very quiet moment, you know, like making dinner napkins for us, you know, that's different. But this stuff is, it's a good combo. Yet another way we may be a good combo.
It is a
question mark.
It is a good combo, I think. I tend to like knowing that I put a lot of, like, legwork into what I'm sharing, and there's just, like, a lot behind it. So, yeah, it's a good combo. So that's good. That's good to hear. You want to sit down in front of Ableton, which, like,
tinker,
must be one of the, like, most agonizing things for a lot of people to, like, start getting experience with. I have no experience with Ableton either.
That's true, but you have experience, though, with...
I have a lot of experience with...
music production software.
Yeah, just not Ableton, so...
Okay, so wait. Well, you were going to say...
No, nothing.
Maybe it's worth noting that I'm an interrupter in part because I'm Mexican. And in Mexico... you show engagement by regularly doing something that I think is called positive interruption or affirming interruptions. But it often means you also talk over each other, and it's normal. It's how you know that you're, like, in it with someone in a conversation. But I've been told in professional settings it's rude in the U.S.
Positive interruptions.
Affirmative interruptions.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, versus dismissive or negating interruptions, where I would be like, yeah, anyway.
See, that's just, see, like I just did there. That's just what you gotta tell the people you're interrupting all the time.
No.
It's affirmative interruption.
Hey, this is a cultural style, okay?
Right.
You can't blame me. You can't hold me accountable for being rude.
That's right.
But I'm sorry, because I think I do it a lot.
I don't notice, and, like, I think I have a tendency to, like, hold on to the like, yeah, I'm like holding on to the microphone, you know, even if I ran out of like what I was gonna say. So like someone has to like take it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you did make the funny joke that we had this very intense conversation about being 50-50 collaborators. Very critical conversation, and what that actually looks like day to day with somebody, say myself, that has no experience doing that. And that later I was like, cool, you hold the mic and you talk then.
Yeah, yesterday I was like, I never held the microphone while we did this. In my head, it like never occurred to me that that meant anything, but like, it's a bit of a different vibe. And so yesterday I was holding the mic and I was like, I felt like all this extra responsibility about like, I don't know. It almost felt like I was like more in the lead of the conversation as well, which maybe you are in a little way. And I was like, dang, I don't know. We don't need to do 50-50. Maybe like 60-40. Like, I don't need this really.
Nah, we said. No, I think it's good. It feels balanced in my head, so we're gonna make it work. Okay, so I do though need to get out into the world. My cough. Ross said that he heard on the news there's this like forever cough that's going around that's like it's nothing but like this tiny forever cough. And I was like, that's what I have. That made me feel better. Because I feel fine. So maybe I'll walk up to Mount Tabor. Would be good. Just gear up for the rain. Get up there. Who knows how long of a walk it is. But I think taking 53rd or 55th might be really pretty. Because the houses are charming.
Yeah, that's a primo walk is from our place to Mount Tabor. So I forgot about that. We're going to do that. I need to do that too.
But I wouldn't be against. We've never gone to a cafe in the middle of the day. That's kind of weird. Oh, maybe we go to Sandy Hut and try again to get a burger. This time you will bring your driver's license because they are not fucking around about carding you.
Yeah, we got kicked out. Not because I wanted a beer and I didn't have a driver's license. You're just like not allowed in the building without your license.
Which is pretty hilarious that he was like, I'm so sorry, but now that I've asked, I can't let you stay.
Yeah, someone's probably cracking down over there somehow.
Yeah. Very, very funny. So, maybe that's my outing, and I can look forward to that check-in with the world. Walks are a little helpful too, but different than sitting there and getting to like sit with humans. Sitting in the presence of humans. Real beautiful thing. I studied it for a long time with like my guy Jean Gall, looking for the book, who studied like why some cities and towns are so beautiful and thriving and people love being in them, and why some aren't. And one of the factors was, are there public places that people love sitting in together? Like plazas, like Italian plazas. It's a very... That's my version of a cafe in the U.S. where we don't invest in old, beautiful public plazas.
Yeah, we don't have...
town squares.
We've got some parks that a lot of people spend time in around here.
It feels different in the fall and winter, though. People don't just, like, sit together and hang out there. They're walking through. They're playing with their dog. There isn't, like, an idle chillness because it's fucking freezing. Anyway, okay.
All right, well...
Do you want me to take the mics back?
I got it. I think between the walk and Sandy Hut, we just lost like 4 hours of the day. So there goes that. That's okay. I did we did a lot of I did a lot of like painting this weekend. I might have like finished another one, which is always exciting because when you start painting, or like when I started painting, I feel like my first like 3 or 4 that I made when I like settled on a concept that I liked were just like good, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like be making tons of these things, like, and you know, as time went on, it seemed evident to me. I was like even doing the math, like how many paintings would I even like make in my whole life if I did like nothing but paint from here? And the number's like, I guess it's big, but it's like a lot smaller than you think. And so yeah, at this point, if I like finish a painting that I like, it really feels like a big deal to me. That one took forever. It's just been like getting painted for like months and months and months.
The one you're working on right now.
Yeah, that one's like over a year old.
You transformed it last night. I didn't look at it last night because I sometimes don't, unless you're like, look, I want you to look at this. I presume that it's just, you're not there yet with it, but you propped it up in the dining room, which is like the holding space for both finished paintings and paintings in progress. It's really nice. And I was just sat down with my coffee this morning and was like, oh shit! It was like, it hit me really beautifully in the face. The new color, the new palette is a real departure for Derek Zook's creative practice.
Yeah, Paloma actually like recognized a bunch of the colors and like pointed me to just like another piece in like one of the books she had.
Oh, it's a fabric. It's like a book about patterns and fabric. And I was like, wait, I've seen this color somewhere recently. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, so I was like just looking to do something radically different because I was getting sort of like exhausted with it, and it didn't feel like there was any like end nearby. So at that point, it feels like a good idea to just like do something completely different. So I got a much different sort of color thing going on in there now, and it really like wrapped everything together really well. Just, I don't know, that's kind of just a nice little thing that'll happen sometimes.
That's wild. Wait.
What's up?
I think it's really funny that that you were like, when we talked about Sandy Hut, you were like, well, that's 4 hours right there, wasted.
Right.
Does it really feel like that?
No.
Oh, that laugh, though. Sorry. And to what degree does it feel like a little waste of time to go out into the world for 4 hours in a day? On a scale of 1 to 10 of wastefulness.
You know, every hour you're at Sandy Hut is one you're not doodling on your iPad. But I've got so many running projects at this point, like, even just sitting down with Paloma this morning, like, while making coffee, I just, like, open the iPad and draw. I, like, have this thing that I can work on incrementally. So I could, like, it's helpful for me to even have 10 minutes. And, I actually have, like, I just have a good thing going right now where whatever amount of time I have like a thing that I could be working on. And there's I'm just calling them doodles. They're, I think, a little more interesting sounding, or a little more interesting than that makes it sound, in my opinion. They're like kind of just like insane cartoons, I guess.
Yeah. Wild creatures.
Yeah, like just crazy looking creatures. Yeah, that one gives me this like ability to satisfy this like urge to be working on something even if I have like 10 minutes. I don't know how healthy this is, but you know, I'm just gonna let it happen. So it'll be good to recover at Sandy Hut. I'm okay with this.
You sure?
Also, something I say a lot is like, I still have a job, so we should go get a burger at Sandy Hut. I've been warning Paloma how I'm going to turn into Scrooge McDuck after I quit my job. I don't know how true this is. But
I'm ready for it. You've warned me, I would say at least once a day.
100 times already. I think she's getting tired.
No, I'm now, I think maybe it's working in that I'm like, yeah, Scrooge McDuck's coming around the corner January 1st. And I'm now intrigued about what Derek Scrooge McDuck looks like when I say, I want to go to Sandy Hut.
Like, oh, maybe I can just go pick up some Beyond Meat and cook you a burger, and we'll go to the park and eat it there.
We're freezing right now. This is why we have separate finances too, because I can be like, baby, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, darling. I'm buying you a burger. It's my money. We'll see. We'll see how this shakes out. We won't know until we're there. I'm so looking forward to January 1st, December 31st, let's say, when you are no longer at the 9-to-5 dev job as a developer.
Yeah, go from the 9 to 5 to the 9 to 5.
To the 9 to 9.
9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Oh, right, 9 to 5 that way, the night shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to it that I'm just like, sure, Scrooge McDuck it is.
No.
Thanks for coming with me to Sandy Hut while we still can, while it's still there.
I think if I have a job, I think then I'm back out of Scrooge McDuck. So there will
austerity measures lifted.
Yeah, we might not even like see full austerity measures like I've done in the past for myself.
There's a phrase in Spanish that my mom used to say to me a lot. You might hear her bust it out on me, which is, "Te gusta sufrir." I say it to Derek a lot.
Yeah.
You like to suffer.
I do. I think that's legitimately true.
I don't relate. I avoid suffering at all costs. For example, jogging. Once it starts being uncomfortable, which is the third block, I'm like, that was good. We're good. That was great. What a good run. But you are just a different creature.
Yeah. I had like one of my like dreams. It's still a dream, really. Was running an ultra. So I ran a marathon now like 8 years ago. So I have like experience with long distance running. And I was like really committed a few years ago, but like I don't like get any help with any of this. I think if I had somebody helping me manage pain and like muscles and everything.
A running coach?
Yeah, if I had like a real coach, maybe I'd get a different outcome, but I'm just like winging it, like YouTubing everything, like, and then, yeah, at some point I just like got an injury and it just like felt impossible, so I haven't picked it back up, but I sort of am always eyeing like re-entering that when if it ever feels like doable, but man.
Te gusta sufrir.
Yeah, I love it. I really do. It depends on the type of suffering, but I think there's plenty of people out there who can relate. Like, if you get to choose to suffer, that's a whole another thing. That's a real...
versus forced suffering.
Yeah, if I have to... Yeah, if someone, like, puts me through something, like, against my will, it's totally awful. I don't love it, but, like, I'll go pretty hard if I get to just... if I'm choosing to do it, so...
I get that.
You know,
I've heard of such things, rather.
something we maybe started covering, like our first episode, was what like the list of like things we're working on, and I think you only got through like 2.
I think what's nice is in our conversations before we were recording ourselves, we didn't obviously have to catch anyone up to anything. And now I'm wondering also if across the recordings, it's clear the ones we're working on. But you're right. We. It's, you know what's funny? It's almost like I don't keep a working memory of them very well, even in my own head, which is maybe why I have my little Ouija board / Trello board, which I haven't updated. I need to update. Should we do that now? Wait, did we finish today? Okay, Ableton, Walk, Sandy Hut, Cozy Times in front of the wood stove, whatever we're each working on. That sounds... However many of those we get to sounds lovely.
It's a good day.
It's a good day. Okay, what, can you itemize yours? What's on your carousel?
Like, in life?
Right now. What feels like you know, when you
My
say
carousel?
Like, oh, yeah, let's add that to the project list. Project number 42. We joke about that.
Right. Yeah, I think my carousel is... Where do I start? Painting? Okay, hold on. I'm going to say job right now.
That is so fair. That's very fair.
Job takes a lot of time, and I have to commit a lot of mental energy to it right now. So job, painting, creative project. I've got these paintings. They were born from like little notepad or notebook sketches that I made that turned out really well, like marker drawings. So now I make them bigger with paint, and I think they look pretty good. One day maybe we'll find the right like way to share them.
Oh my God!
We were pretty particular.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
Go for it.
Again, interruption out of engagement.
It's good.
I remembered, I was like, didn't we have this idea that at the time felt really brilliant about how to share your paintings? Because we were like, do we make prints of them that we sell at the Bonanza Bazaar? And I just remembered one of the ideas was, which is not exactly that. It's that once you have a nice set of them, that they shouldn't be photographed or shown in a white room on a white wall, because that isn't at all what they were born for. Right now they're in my dining room. When you first gifted me one, I wasn't being greedy when I brought it home and was like, it went in my dining room, which is a very, I think, pretty colorful, warm. There's a lot going on in the dining room. But it still felt alone. I was like, I'm sorry, I think these belong in pairs. And you let me borrow kind of a second one, and we put them side by side, kind of flanking the dining room window. And we were just like, oh, this is so good. Like, they're just so good there. And it's kind of a 70s dining room a bit, 50s, 70s. And I was, maybe making a note that when you have a set enough of them, that either we like share them on your artist page online or something, that we were photographing them in homes, like either here in our house, and or we like find friends' homes who are just like really unique and have their own life and style to them, and that's where we... Or maybe we like find a coffee shop or like a business that we can do the art opening in. That's like very, it's not white walls. It's not a gallery. These do not belong in a gallery at all.
Yeah. I like this plan. I think having really nice photos of them all together on like in rooms with a lot of life. That makes sense to me. I like definitely agree that for whatever reason there's it might not be able to go like some really conventional route. So, but I'm okay. This is just like a thing I'm working on, and I love that there might be some like unusual caveats about how we feel like comfortable sharing them, because yeah, they look really good when there's a bunch of them. It's like a whole different thing. I don't know why that is. It's just the way it is. So paintings, and we've got these doodles. These sort of entered the arena recently, and I've just been making these little just funny looking animals on the iPad. So like a whole bunch of them on one page they're just fun. They're zany. I don't know.
Crazy little dudes.
They're very natural to make too. I think that's something really nice for me, is that I think they benefit from me not like trying that hard and just doing what comes extremely naturally. That's just what I'm doing. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of ways to win in this game. So the doodles, then we've got the music. Now the music is a lot of things. We've got the reggaeton with me and Paloma. So I've had to like figure out how to get started making that. I haven't been working on that as much lately, but I did like up front put a bunch of time into trying to like make some beats that we could get started with. And so yeah, we're like now kind of picking that back up together.
It's a little... Oh God, sorry.
Go for it.
We had earmarked just a few days ago that maybe we put that in the back burner. How is that still feeling for now? Prioritize the pod over the reggaeton. Is that still feeling good?
Yeah. The pod makes sense to prioritize because we're already doing it.
Cool.
Yeah. Throw the pod in there. So the music also like. The music was a lower priority because we're working on the house as well. So, like, the house, another priority. My side, like, my space in this house could use some work that I have not given it attention to. Now, that's typical of me, so it's not like it's any different than the place I just moved from. But I should probably do that.
Kind of work? What kind of work do you feel you would do next there?
Oh, I think it needs some plants. We had this plan to turn one of these like things into a little like mini greenhouse thing by the window.
Yeah. I forgot about the mini greenhouse.
So there's like stuff to do there. Also, we have this idea of turning my side the kitchen into like the cat cafe for all of Muir House, because there's a big reason why we want to do that. Did we talk about that on the pod?
We did. I listened to part.
Oh, okay, that's great. So yeah, I want to do that, which means a little bit of work, but yeah, I think the cats would love the idea of people popping in to make coffee. And that's an excuse to keep my space, like, livable looking. Alright, there's that. Okay, music, good. And then there's, like, there's, like, the songs that I've been writing, like, often while Paloma's making dinner is when I will, like, just take a shot at writing a song. And, you know, the way that I write these, I've been, like, it's not exactly country Derek. That was, like, sort of a character that I was like, oh, these could be country Derek. So, like, one of them started as, like, a country song. They're kind of more just, like, the way that I do doodles at this point, honestly, which is, it's just whatever feels natural. I don't know if this is a good strategy, honestly, for like making music, but whatever. This is just what I'm doing. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
I want to add that, like, there's some of these projects that you're listing that are very much like in your inner world in a cool way, and I happen to be in the room when you're doing them, and that's really sweet. And but the songs that you write on the spot while I'm making dinner, there's this rhythm to our days during the week is really when this happens, which is like nice to have this like Monday through Friday. I start dinner, you come over, you build a fire, you turn on these two humongous speakers you got on Craigslist that like are like bookends to the left and right of the fireplace, and I hear the amp get turned on. And you just sit down with the guitar and the microphone and start playing a song that, you know, I have never had heard before because you're writing it on the spot. And now you record it. I know that you're recording it now. Yeah, it feels... that one is really interesting in that it's not just part of one of your creative projects, it's also like part of the rhythm of our life that I really cherish, which is really interesting. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it doesn't make you feel pressure to do it. You know, you can always skip it for the day.
Yeah, I don't do it every day, and I don't think I could do it every day. And like, even with how much I do it, it's really funny, like, sometimes they, like, just don't feel right or you can't get into it. Sometimes, like, they're just, like, really special and they sound great and you like them and, like, both of us like them. It's kind of just, there's no, like, rhyme or reason. So, that's a good habit to be in, I think. And, I don't know, I would love to, like, make another set of songs, that are like that. I think every time I do it, I get a little better, and I just have been doing that since I was like 16, so it's just something I like to do, period. And writing the song is like the hardest part. Like recording songs I think is really fun, although there's like a lot to talk about there, as far as what like makes it work. So there's that. All right, then we've got I'm trying to learn Spanish. I've not been super diligent about that. Paloma likes to say that my Spanish isn't that bad. It could use some more time. Now, I did just get a new bunch of flashcards. Flashcards are just my favorite way to learn anything. So that's another, like 500 words there. That'll be good. That'll help a lot. Spanish, learning a language is really hard. I think everyone can agree.
Why are you learning Spanish?
I'm learning Spanish because I want to talk to you in Spanish. Your family's Spanish. It seems like a good, like, if you're dating someone who speaks another language, you're crazy to not learn that language. It's, like, silly to not do it. Because, like, you have the resource around you at all times. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Now, there's other reasons, too. Like, I've tried to learn Spanish numerous times in my life. And, I really like the idea of being able to, read something in Spanish, like read these classic Spanish books in Spanish, the way they were written, stuff, things like that appeal to me.
Mm-hmm. For the record, my family is Mexican but speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
They're not actually Spanish.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I love it. You're about to get real immersion in a few days, hanging out with my family in Mexico for 6 days.
Yeah.
You're in it.
I think I had this hope that I would be like much further along than I am. Now the day's arrived, it's like, shit, I'm not gonna be able to like understand anything, but that's okay. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. And then we've got kind of a recent addition is Jiu Jitsu. So I started doing that like 4 months ago, but I go like either once or twice a month, and it's like pretty hard to manage injuries. Like this is again, we've got like a brand new thing. I have no experience wrestling. Like my body doesn't understand any of this. The muscles are like getting taxed. But man, I could talk a lot about this. It's like a joke that once you do it, you know, it's just like all you talk about. There's a reason for that. There's like a lot I'm getting out of that socially too, as someone who, you know, just talked about loving not leaving the house and just working on creative projects with no end in sight. This is like a really good counter activity, because you gotta like roll around on the ground with a stranger basically. It's not something that comes very natural. Working on that's really fun. I am really into like MMA, mixed martial arts, so like I've been watching the UFC for like 5 years. Jiu-Jitsu is a huge part of mixed martial arts. It's like a legitimate skill that pretty much all of them know. So the nerd in me is also like just excited to like learn all the different techniques that you see people like using at the highest level. Yeah, since like we started dating, I've got like Paloma watching the like pay-per-views with me.
Never in a million years did I think I would even like put up with the UFC being played in my presence, like a UFC fight, because I knew nothing about it. My stepmom yesterday said something really funny. She was like, you know those people that like instantly dismiss a thing when they know nothing about it? That was me with the UFC before I met you. And now it's one of the most fascinating things I could watch. Just these two humans. Like 120% dedicated and passionate about this insane long list of skills you have to be incredible at athletically to contend with another human that is also a master at hundreds of skills at once athletically. And that they like really hurt each other physically, and that's what they are there to engage in. There's like no one being forced to do that. They don't even get paid very much. And that right after like such a deep, insane, physically just brutal fight, they'll like instantly hug and sometimes like kiss each other on the cheek and just embrace and be like they were just in some kind of spiritual whirlwind together for 25 minutes. It's fascinating. Thank you for bringing me into such a fascinating universe that I dismissed for too long.
I think it says a lot that you like pretty quickly saw the same thing that I see. I don't know. It was easy to like share that with you. And there's a lot to be said about it. There's plenty of downsides of this whole thing in this organization,
sure, but there's plenty of actually spiritual fighters that you know, like vocally spiritual fighters that see this as, I mean, martial arts is an incredibly traditional martial arts are very, very spiritual and very I guess, yeah. That's the best way to say it, spiritual.
Yeah, I even see, like, it even seems to me like even the people who are just, like, in there, like, being tough guys, they're, like, accidentally spiritual, like, all the time. So, Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. So it's, I guess it's just like feels like something that's fun for me to do. And I like that it's like super distant from pretty much anything else I've done. And there's more reasons that I do it, but
I was gonna say, I think it's interesting that you just called Jiu Jitsu a fun activity. I know that watching UFC is fun, but I think partaking in it has been... It pushes you to be comfortable with humans in a way that's... You are forcing yourself to learn how to be with humans in a pretty intense way.
yeah, actually, that's a good point. This is a habit that I'm in that I don't need to do on the podcast, which is like, what is the word? Like, just sort of skim over something.
Downplay, be like, yeah, so jiu-jitsu's pretty cool. And I was like, let's back the fuck up on that one for... I mean,
Yeah.
I should have asked your consent first.
No. I should not be doing that here. That's not what we do on the pod. So I've never like said that to Paloma. I've never been like, yeah, it's pretty cool and fun. I've never said anything like that about jiu-jitsu. I don't know why I did just now. I think I was just trying to get through the list of things I'm working on, but this is probably the last item on the list. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some other smaller ones. We've got like roller skating. I've got a boxing punching bag downstairs that I like practice. I like YouTube technique and stuff, and there's a little more things, but this is sort of the last big one. Jiu-jitsu. Let me spend a little more time on that. I like on the days where I don't have class. I like it. I'm like, I think about it. I'm like thinking about the stuff I just learned. I'll like watch fights and see, I'll like try and learn from like other fighters, or what do they call them? Practitioners. I'll like research technique. I'll watch YouTubes on technique. The days where I have class, I wake up and I'm just like, I have to force myself to go to these classes. I don't want to go. Like, it's so like Monday, Wednesdays when I try to go, I'll like instantly when I wake up, I'm already feeling the weight of having to like go to class. And
I mean, it sounds like, right, it's a type of anxiety.
Yeah. And this is what I have been trying to address like directly through jiu-jitsu, is this anxiety I have about like interacting with people, particularly strangers, because generally once people get to know me, I feel much more comfortable. I'm sure this is relatable. But it's like, part of me is just like, having this anxiety is just like no way to live a life. Like, because we're not going to be here forever, and it's just going to be like persistently in the way of you like enjoying your life. So that was like one of the reasons is I wanted a like direct addressal. Is that a word? It is now. I wanted a direct addressal of this problem that I have, that I feel I have. And it certainly is a direct addressal of something. So there's that. And then also like, I think being comfortable in, maybe it's just like a weird guy thing. I don't know. Being just like comfortable in situations where you're like sort of like being pressured like aggressively by somebody else. I don't think you get through life without those. Maybe after 18, you never have those experiences again. I have, But
can we call those experiences like being threatened and bullied by others? Or
yeah,
you just
we can.
the way you worded it was a little euphemistically like I can't remember.
I don't know why I said it that way.
No. This is why there's two of us in the conversation, because I think one of the things we do for each other is be like, let's slow down on that one, or like, I think you named it that, like, for a lot of men I know, they have some pretty intense experiences as children, being either emotionally, psychologically bullied and or physically threatened regularly by other kids, their siblings, kids at school. Not that it doesn't happen to women, of course it happens to everyone across all the spectrum of genders, but I think when you grow up male, maybe you're conditioned to be like, yeah, that's just a boy's life. Like, that's the message outside. But I think I think even the term bully, I think we should just call it like psychological warfare that happens to also sometimes include physical violence. And that's trauma. That is fucking trauma.
Yeah.
To a little kid.
In my case, like, the physical side of bullying was never really that big a deal. It was always just, like, psychological. And,
which is equally, we know that emotional and psychological abuse, regardless of who it's coming from, is just as damaging to the body as physical. So I just don't want to downplay that these things are stored in the body and in the mind.
Right. So I'm actively downplaying all of this right now. But yeah, I think something that I also wanted to address with Jiu Jitsu was just like, in some way, like, I guess working through these things that made an impact on me. These, like, bullying events that made an impact on me. And yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a little late, but I mean, you know.
Is that one of the voices in your head that, hey, it's a little late, that happened when you were a
kid? Yeah, you know, I like to slam myself in my head. I think it's good. It's good to do this. And, yeah, being just comfortable with the idea of, like, getting in a fight or something is just, like, psychologically healthy. I don't know how to explain that. There's a better way to explain that. I'm sure this isn't the first time anyone suggested that.
I mean, the way I think I've grown to understand it for you is that there was a voice in your head as you were growing up that was like, hey, that was in the past, let it go. Downplaying it. Because that's how society talks about it too. But another voice in your head that you've been listening to more and that led you to try Jiu Jitsu was like, the thing that those past experiences over time created, like, the product of those experiences over time in your body and in your mind and in your heart, was maybe that it's hard to move in the world, in, like, the physical world with strangers, because part of your brain, because it's smart and designed for this, part of your brain is like, yeah, but any one of these motherfucker strangers could become a bully, and I never was able to fight them off in the past in a way that felt right. And so why do I think I am safe now? And I think it was really fascinating to watch you go through the process of thinking it over whether you should try something like Jiu Jitsu, that Jiu Jitsu might be the thing that allows your body and your mind and your heart to play with the idea of like, hey, maybe in the rare instance that one of these strangers, as you move out in the world now, ever tries some bullshit like those people did in your past, if they ever try some of this bullshit, that now you'll know you can take care of yourself and that you're safe because you can take care of yourself. And so rationally, yeah, sure, maybe this may never happen because thankfully, hopefully we live in a society where, we live in a city, right? We both chose to live in a city where this is less likely to happen, that random strangers will just come and punch you. Or start shit. Let's say start shit.
Yeah.
But I think it made sense to me that you were like, my hypothesis is that I need something to show my body, my heart, and my mind, hey, we're okay now. We're capable in a different way. We're okay now. Like we can move in the world differently now. Does that feel fair? I guess you feel free to be like, that's not what I was saying for months.
Paloma is pretty good at putting to words my like overarching reasons for doing things. Yeah, I think that was a good explanation. It's to show myself that like, we're good.
Should that happen?
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't go into freak out mode. It goes into like, oh shit, am I gonna get to do a fucking guillotine choke?
Right. Like, oh boy, we get to test the all the shit we learned. Yeah, let's see how this goes. And I think just being comfortable with the idea, that's like really what I was after, because like there's some kind of gap in my like, I don't know, just like ability to just get through life that stems from all this. And it's like, yeah, if you can just like do something to like patch this gap, it will like smooth over the entire process of existing in the world with other people. So multifaceted reasons here, but that's really the main reason I'm doing this.
How would you say, yeah, you recently were like, oh shit, that hypothesis, that theory that maybe this might do that. I think you were like, I think it's panning out. Like, would you say more about that? Like, is it working?
I think it's working. Yeah, I think the longer I go, the more time I spend doing it, the better it gets. And yeah, I think I do have like a lot to feel proud of about keeping on going. And yeah, I think it is doing what I hoped it would do, and yeah, I would like to just keep going. So, we've got Jiu Jitsu about twice a week.
Yeah, that's quite a... You also... I don't want to keep going about Jiu Jitsu, but I know how much it means. It's been a significant part of your and my life now. It's in an interesting way, Yours obviously more so because I'm not going to it. Though Derek does every now and then teach me so that he can drill a little bit and practice different submissions. And I've learned a few, some leg submissions and some, the Americana. I'm fond of that one.
There you go. Catch someone off guard with Americana.
Yeah. Some motherfucker comes up to me at the bar, and I'm just like, let's see how this one works on a real human. Anyway.
Yeah, it's shockingly easy to like destroy somebody's arm there's very little, like, keeping your arm from getting destroyed.
If you know the exact way to hold it and just kind of turn it.
Right. Like, a child can pretty easily, not easily, but, like, if they're in the right position, a child can easily break your arm, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's, again, this is not because we want to break people's arms, but, right, I'm a fucking lady moving in the world. I've had to do my own therapy work, and actively have to manage the fear that, motherfuckers are going to try to mess with me. And it is really fun to be like, I learned in high school that psychological self-defense is the first and most important type of self-defense to learn. And essentially that's knowing that you're capable, in more ways than you realize, to set the tone about what's happening between you and another person. It's not to say that, like, you're responsible for what happens to you. It's just that I think and stuff like this is kind of reminds me of that, of like, oh, right, I could just twist this little way, and pop this person's shoulder out. Cool, if they try messing with me. Anyway, whatever. Off topic.
For the record, I like showing Paloma how to do these things to me.
Yeah.
I'm not like, let me practice the guillotine on you.
Oh, no, that's true. You never practice on me. You're practicing understanding the move by teaching it to me.
And I noticed that helps. Like, the stuff I teach you, I'm, like, ready to do it, like, live. So.
Yeah. No, that's a good clarification. Derek is not practicing on a 110-pound woman at home. He's practicing understanding the move by teaching it, which is how we learn. Okay. I wanted to say, when you described the last bit about Jiu Jitsu, when you described, it sounds so humbling as a human to have to get down on a mat and, like, twist into a pretzel position with a total stranger who is another man. If I were a man, and I understand how men are acculturated in Western worlds to be, to not touch each other, to just all these things, to not be, to not show physical weakness in front of each other, all these different things. And all of a sudden here is this space, this jiu-jitsu studio where, like, that is all that is happening, is like, you get down on the floor, you wrap yourself into a pretzel with another man. So all parts of your bodies are touching, you know, in like many crazy ways. And in the first, what year, they just tell you, like, you will constantly be submitted. Like, you will constantly be just, if you're a white belt, that is your job, is almost like to just understand what it's like to have another man instantly win, essentially, right? Or whatever version of, and like, that sounds, I don't know how many, I don't think I've ever placed myself in a hobby or activity or realm where for the first year, the best thing I could expect is to keep being bested. And that was the learning. Mm-hmm. And it would be like that physically intense with another stranger. There's just so much. There's so much there.
Yeah, it's really not a small thing. Yeah, like, it just hits all the marks of things that are absent in our daily life with, like, generally, you're, like, just actively doing all of them. So I joke sometimes about, like, I mean, you get used to it kind of quick. Like, you get used to, rolling on the ground with another sweaty dude, like, awfully fast, I guess, relatively speaking. And it's kind of funny. I joke about how, like, you don't realize you'd, like, want to do this, and then once you do it a while, you're like, it becomes just like inherently obvious that it's something that's like fun that you want to do. Like you see cats like play fighting and stuff, like it kind of makes sense. But
yeah, you're right.
yeah, so like I think a lot of us are just sort of like pretending or neglecting or ignoring this like desire we have to like wrestle each other.
Yeah.
Like in a natural society, we would just be like wrestling each other all the time for fun. I don't know. But
I think it's true. When the little times that you and I wrestle, it is really fun, especially if it's just like playful.
yeah, exactly.
It's really fun.
So no surprise that some people get really hooked on this, and we have these like professional fighters that have these huge, enormous personalities that just like love what they do, and I find it really inspiring. Basically, I just like love these guys so much, guys and girls who are just so dedicated and like in love with their craft, which is like something that is like the last thing some people would want to do. And it's all they want to do.
What they want to do.
So that's fighting, and that's it for my list for now.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's good. It's a good itemization of all in one. Bam. This is what. Yeah. This is all that's in your day and your that we like balance out, and also in our life together pretty well, I think. I hope that feels that way. They don't quite feel in competition with each other because we mention and we talk about how like, oh wait, how does that? We're just always talking, how does this stack rank against that in real time?
Yeah.
It feels healthy versus like, but I also said I would box. I hear you saying more things like, I really want to box today. You know, and then sometimes like the other night when you were like, it was like 10 p.m. and you were like, I don't know, I think I'm going to go down and box in the basement. And I was like, whoa, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out that's pretty viable. I was able to like go to sleep right after. So, that's good to know.
Yeah. I don't think I have it in me to go into my list because I've been happily listening, interjecting, interrupting, etc. while de-stitching this robe because I want to use the fabric.
That's fair.
In front of the fire and stuff. I think I'm ready to start the day that we just described we might do.
Yeah, I'm ready for another cup of coffee.
Yeah, you are. We'll come back. Come back to whatever I've got.
All right.
How's that feel?
That feels great.
Okay.
Till next time.
Till next time.